Okay, so we're at Genesis chapter 13. So Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Remember, Lot is his nephew. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. Remember, he got stuff from his father when his father passed away, and then he went to Egypt, and Pharaoh gave him a bunch of gifts that he was able to take out of Egypt. So, yeah, this guy's accumulated wealth. Verse 3, from the Negev, he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called on the name of the Lord. So he did it again, called on God's name. Remember what that was? Yahweh, Yod-He-Vav-He, which some people believe is pronounced Yahweh. Others believe it's pronounced Yahweh. There may be other pronunciations out there. I'm not aware of them. Verse 5. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. But the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. So Lot owned so much stuff too. Doesn't tell us how he accumulated his wealth. We've got Abram with all of his possessions from his father and from the Pharaoh, and you've got his nephew Lot with lots of possessions, we're told. Probably not as much as Abram, but we're told he has quite a few possessions that the land can't support them all. Now, when we're talking possessions, we're not talking TV sets and things like that. We're talking flocks and servants and tents to house everybody and things like that. And I'm sure pottery and things like that they could use. But they had so much that the land couldn't feed all the animals, I would think in particular. And so it says they couldn't stay together. Let's see what happens. Verse 7. And quarreling arose between Abram's herdsmen and the herdsmen of Lot. Well, that actually seems normal. If the land couldn't support all the animals, Abram's herdsmen, their job is to feed the animals, make sure the animals can graze. And if there's nothing for them to graze on, they're going to want to move the animals to places where they can graze, and most likely that would be areas where Lot's got his animals. And there's not enough land and stuff for his animals to eat. So Lot's herdsmen are trying to move the animals around to where they could eat, and there's going to be quarreling. It only makes sense. So, it says, verse 7, and quarreling arose between Abram's herdsmen and the herdsmen of Lot. The Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at the same time. Oh my gosh, so now we've got not just Abram and all his possessions and livestock and herdsmen and maid servants and manservants, and not all of Lot's possessions either, and all his servants and all his livestock and everything. But remember, they came to a land where people were already living. The Canaanites were already there, and now we're told the Perizzites were also there. So my gosh, this land is overpopulated. Okay, verse 8. So Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are brothers. Well, not really brothers, right? Abram is the uncle of Lot. Lot's his nephew. But, he means brothers, like family, close. So Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are brothers. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. So instead of staying where we are, let's split up. You go one direction, I'll go the other. And I'll even let you decide. If you go this way, I'll go that way. If you go that way, I'll go this way. But no more quarreling between us. Okay? So, verse 10, Lot looked up and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, toward Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, why are we told that? This must be close to the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot looked up and saw the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, toward Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Okay, so Abram said, go wherever you want. Lot looks around and says, oh my, that over there, love it. Looks well watered. There's a lot of vegetation. It looks like a great place for the animals to live and for us to live, and I want that. Okay, and Abram was being really nice. He took what was left. So he stayed in the land of Canaan. So Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Verse 13, now the men of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. Verse 14, the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring. So now the Lord is directly promising the land to Abram and Abram's offspring forever. So I'm going to read that again. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him. So he waited till Lot left, and then the Lord said, sometimes I think we don't get answers until we do something that we're supposed to do. And for some reason, Lot was supposed to part from Abram, and now the Lord could do his work. So the Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Wow. That's impossible. So I guess it will be impossible for us to count Abram's offspring. Now remember, his wife is still barren. He has no kids yet. So this has got to be, it's not just, the Lord's not just saying you're going to have a kid, which would be hard enough for Abram to believe. But he's saying that I'm going to give you so much offspring that if you could count, what does he say? If you could count the dust of the earth, okay? I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. So it's not just a little promise. It's big. I mean, it's like the biggest that could be even imagined. I'm not even sure Abram could imagine that. I certainly couldn't. Verse 17, go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abram moved his tents and went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he built an altar to the Lord. And that was chapter 13. Hope you enjoyed it. I didn't write it.